Hey guys, welcome to yet another CarHub vlog. Today we'll be working on the engine bay of the car and doing few interior stuff, basically fixing stuff that I've done earlier. Okay, so since the Miata has been giving me a bit of, weird idling with revs dropping, I was considering opening up the intake to take a look at the butterfly valve in case I could get some brake cleaner in there and clean it and see if that fixes it. And the second thing that I wanted to do was to get rid of this intake tube right here and this piece there and do a shorty left side intake. I received some silicone hoses from eBay. This is a reducer from 63 to 70 millimeters. That's going to be used for coupling the butterfly, the throttle body with one side of the MAF. Then here goes the MAF. Then this is a sort of extender. And what I'm planning to do is that this goes like on here, and then this slides into the filter, and I'm gonna use a hose clamp or something to put it down. Now, the only problem is that since I was an idiot and didn't really measure things before ordering, was that this thing seems to be a bit too big. As you can see here, if this thing goes on to there, then the MAF, and then the filter with the extender, there's no way this is gonna fit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and cut this up like here and perhaps here, so that it's a bit shorter, and perhaps we're gonna do a bit of an angle to it so that the filter ends up about here, which is, isn't all that close to the intake, to the exhaust manifold. So we should be good to go. Now, I've heard that getting rid of the stock intake and doing your own setup can actually make you lose some mid-range torque and perhaps gain half a horsepower or something, which pretty much tells you guys that I'm not doing this for performance, just doing it so that my engine bay looks a little bit better. And the last thing that I want to do is show you guys this thing. This is like a 1 centimeter or 10 millimeter silicone hose, and what we're gonna use this for is two things. First of all, this little piece right here, I pretty much broke it upon taking the valve cover off for painting, just like this thing. Well, this thing was pretty much already broken by the previous owner, who took it to some sort of mechanic to change the cam belt, and he didn't take it off properly, so it's put on in some sort of haggard way. So no matter what, this thing is going on there. We're replacing these black hoses with these silicone ones, and we'll see whether we're keeping this setup or not. If we manage to make that fit and also possibly make some sort of hole so that we use the same setup, let me show you guys. So as you can see, there's a hole right here which roots back to the valve cover. And what I'm planning to do is take this piece right here and somehow make a hole and tap into it so that I can get a hose just like the OEM setup, because this thing draws in air, and if I put a small filter on there instead of having it after the MAF, it's gonna draw in air that the mass airflow sensor doesn't count, doesn't actually measure. So yeah, it's a good idea to actually try to put the hose in here so that we don't have a lean air fuel mixture. Okay, so with this part removed, now we need to remove this part right here, and then this one here, and these two hoses. In order to get good access on that one, it would be a good idea to remove the strut bar. We'll see whether I manage to do it without doing that. Okay, so this is sort of how it's gonna look like. As you can see, we're gonna have quite quite some trouble fitting it into there. While there does seem to be space in there, I don't know how am I supposed to be able to put it in there, inside of the engine bay, without taking the headlight off or something, which I'm not planning to do, not now. So it's either dribbling out some of it here to make more room, or perhaps ditching the plan altogether. Okay, so I've taken all the silicone hoses off. As you can see, I just need to cut this tie right here so that I can properly take it off. As you can see, I've taken the strut bar off to get better access. That hose right there. This is the condition of my butterfly valve. As you can see, it doesn't look way too bad, and since I'm here, I'm gonna try and give it, I'm gonna try and clean it. And the way things are progressing, I think that I will actually need to cut this. Perhaps use a Dremel or something similar to mark it and cut it, because I don't really see how it's going to fit in there otherwise. And this is the result. As you can see, not the cleanest job ever, not the straightest thing ever, but we do have a slight margin of error, so we should be fairly good to go. I mean, doesn't seem to be all that bad. Okay, so after quite a bit of chopping and quite a bit of cursing and shit, this is how it looks like right now. As you can see, it's not a perfect fit, but it is safe enough. I mean, the math extends up to here, so should be alright as long as I hose clamp it very tightly. That's how it looks right now. And the plan is that I'm taking the intake air temperature sensor with me, and I've also got the barb fitting that I'm gonna put inside there so that I can connect the IAT and the hose from here all the way to there, just like they had it on the factory intake manifold. Oh man, this video should be titled "How to Not Do an Intake Volume 1." Okay, so using this cheap $5 soldering iron, I just made a hole through this and simply punched the intake air temperature sensor, which is in there pretty snug. Now it's time to make another hole for the for the secondary intake thingy, and we should be pretty good to go. This filter hasn't been cleaned in like 1.5 years. It's not very dirty or something, but since we're here and we're at it, we're just gonna go ahead and clean it with water. Okay, so I've got a bit of this degreaser right here, and this rag, and this is what I did pretty much. I mean, it definitely isn't like clean like brand new, but it's quite a big improvement. Let's hope I don't see any lumpy aisle shit right now. Okay, so as you can see here, I finally managed to sort of do something here. I've got the blue silicone piping all around there. No, there are no gaps here, but it's not a perfect application. I would never suggest anyone to do this. Please guys, if you want to plan on doing a shorty intake, a left side intake for the Miata, make sure to order a 90-degree angle thingy, especially if you've got an AC line right here, because this is stupid. Don't do it. Well, since I already had bought this off eBay from China, I decided, well, why not try it out? And in case something goes horribly wrong, I can still put my OEM intake back on. I've kept it intact. So anyway, these are hose clamped. This is the MAF. It's connected down there, and the wire loom goes like somewhere there. This is the intake air temperature sensor, just like on the OEM intake. This goes back to the this is the where people put the breather filter on, com cover, breather, whatever. Goes in like that into here. This is the MAF. This is the filter that I cleaned with water. Should be dry enough. I showed you that I cleaned this. So anyway, I think that it's a bit ricey, but at least it looks good. I also tried to polish the cover a bit. Just applied a bit of degreaser onto it. This is how it looks. Midnight purple for the win. Okay, enough rambling. Let's try if it actually starts up. If we get any error codes. Let's see. Okie doke. Turn to neutral. Let it do its checks. Gotta make sure that no check engine lights or something. Okay, it's in neutral. Something sounds bad. Something sounds bad. Like there's a leak. This is the pipe that makes the noise. So if I take care of that, we're cool. Okay, and this is the end result. As you can see, everything is alright. This doesn't make noise anymore. So we're good. It's all good. Something I can definitely tell right away is that the gas is, a bit more eager to rev, at least in neutral. Okay, let's do a bit of a sound test and we're gonna shut off because we're making a lot of noise. Yep, sounds very good. And revs very freely. The second thing that I wanted to do today was take care of the cluster lighting. As you can see, there are quite a few issues with it. Let me shut the door off because it's making noise. Okay. For some reason, these things are a bit more purple, in real life at least, in comparison to these LEDs right there. This one doesn't light up. There's a problem with the connection maybe, and nor does this one. So what I'm gonna do is simply take this cover off, then take this one off, and then it's 4 screws, taking the cluster back home, putting the these stock bulbs on, and we should be good to go. Okay, so I have just put all the switches back on. Let's put the cluster in its place temporarily, and let's see. And this side doesn't light up. Fuck. The connector on the lamp was broken, so I had to hot glue it in place. Let's see if it works now. Also fix the issue here. As you can see, the glove box is now okay. Basically you cannot see because it's way too dark in here, but it's fixed, so we're cool. Okay, and simply banging on the cluster allowed me to have a working one. But look, an LED isn't lighting up again. Now it is. It's stupid. What's wrong with you, cluster? I tried hot gluing it into place. What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, let's put it into ignition. Whoops. Okay, let's try to start it. Neutral. Okay. Everything seems alright and normal. Okay, that's it for this day. Guys. Everything is working properly, or at least not worse than it was before. We fixed the glove box. We've fixed the cluster. We put the old bulbs back into place, and we've also done our intake. So we should be good to go. Thanks for watching.